How you guys doing today? Coming at y'all with another video, and several things I want to talk about in this video. One of the topics kind of is actually impromptu. It completely came out of nowhere, and I'm glad it happened because it's a very, very valuable learning lesson for new guys out there that are just starting. It's a very, very valuable lesson, and I hope that you guys will come across this video before it happens to you, or when it will happen. When it does happen to you, you'll be able to be smart and catch it and handle the situation beforehand. Alright, first and foremost, yesterday I hit over 100 subscribers. I just want to thank everybody for showing the support to my channel and showing me the love. I mean, you could have been anywhere else watching anybody else's channel, but you took time out of your life to watch my channel, watch my movies, my videos, and hit the like button and subscribe and leave comments and go to my Facebook page, leave emails, send me Facebook messages, call me. Anybody that's really on the channel knows I'm not hard to get in contact with. It's just a simple email and a phone call away. But you took time out of your life to show me that love and appreciation, and I want to let you guys know that I have eternal gratitude for that. And the reason is, time is one of those things in life you cannot get back. As we're all aware of, time is a valuable and precious resource, because once it's gone, and you've taken the time out of your life to look at whatever I'm putting out. And that means something, because those minutes and those hours and the time you'll type in the comments and whatnot, that you're not getting that time back. And I appreciate you showing the support to me. So I just want to start the video off by saying that. Now, I know a little over 100 subscribers is not a lot compared to some of these big name guys, you know, Trucker Brown, Troy Moss, Trucking Stuff, some of these other big name guys out there. But you know what, they had to start their channel at some place too, and I appreciate you guys rocking and rolling with me since day one. And the ones that, you know, just now discovering me, I appreciate you guys being there and helping the channel grow as well. That was first and foremost. Alright, second thing I wanted to get at is, as I've explained before, getting your trailer weighed, you cannot be any more than 12,000 pounds on your steers, 34,000 on your drives, and 34,000 on your trailer axles. However, whenever you do a relay, the relay basically means one person picked up the load and for whatever reason they're not finishing it. So they drop it off at a certain destination, and you, the second driver, will pick it up and run it from the rest of the way from there. I recently picked up a load that was 43,900 pounds, 44,000 pounds. And I picked it up at one of our drop yards up here in Wisconsin. Now, me being me, I like to weigh my load to make sure that it's within the legal limits. But you would assume that the last driver who took the load weighed it for themselves, because they're not trying to catch the citation. This is why it's very important to do your job properly and do your own background and own research. How much that trailer axle weighed. Steers are fine, drives are fine. Trailer axle is almost 1,000 pounds overweight, which means the last person to pick up this load drove an illegal load. I want y'all to let that sink in for a second. This person did not weigh the load, or actually most likely knew that the load was not leaving the state based off of where the paperwork says it picked up at. It didn't leave the state, which means you didn't have to run across any weigh scales, which means instead of stopping to get it weighed, he rolled with it the way it was. What happens if you came across somebody, a DOT officer, who had a mobile weigh scale? That right there would cost this man thousands of dollars, cost the company thousands of dollars. He couldn't get points on his license, probably going to lose his job. Let that sink in. He or she did not care enough to do the right thing, get the load weighed. No matter if you're picking up a load, if you pick up a load and you know it's heavy, or if you're relaying a load and you basically get that feeling that this load needs to be weighed, you need to use your better judgment and go ahead and weigh it. Whether you're relaying it 100 miles, whether you're relaying it 500 miles, whether you're relaying it a few miles down the road, get to a weigh station, or excuse me, somewhere where you can weigh it and weigh your load, because you don't want to get hit with a fine because you're almost 1,000 pounds overweight. Notice you're still under the gross vehicle weight, which is supposed to be 80,000 max, but your trailer axle weighs too much. So I did the right thing, went and got this load weighed, and I slid my axles, slid my tandems, and now that's where I'm currently sitting at. Basically got the load evened out. This is how you want yourself to be, under 34,000 pounds. That was the first point I wanted to drive. But the topic of this video is not about weighing your joint. As you guys know, I have been videos on trip hitting, things of that nature. I'm going to talk for a second. As you guys know, I've been doing videos on trip hitting. I did a video on things that ultimately lead to another trip hitting. And today, this video I'm going to right now, I'm going to do error including it, so this is actually my second take at it. So yes, this is it. So this right here is a culmination of everything that I've talked about in other videos, and this is how it comes together to make an effective trip plan. This is how I write down my directions. Alright? I don't have a GPS in the truck. As you can see, there's no GPS on my window. There's one on the co-pilot, but you can barely trust that thing. So, as you can see, no GPS on my dash. That is the camera that the company has, not GPS. And also that purple tint, I don't know why it shows the purple, because it's actually red in the truck. Alright? Anyway, this is how I write down the directions. I write them down systematically. I write down what state I'm going to be in, the highway or the interstate, slash the direction that I'll be traveling on the interstate, the distance for that segment of the trip, and whenever I move to the next segment, or whenever I'm coming up to the end of that particular segment, I'm looking for the next waypoint, the exchange to the next road, the next interstate, the next something. There's at the end of each one of these, something kind of significant happens, whether it be a big road that you're passing. It's all written out in the co-pilot's directions. It's all written out in the routing that the company sends you for your workflow. So that's why I have it written down like this. It's written down in this way, so it's easier to read, because once you start driving, you're only going to be able to look at the GPS portion of the co-pilot, which will get you messed up sometimes. So it's very smart to have the directions written down, because you can reference that at any point if you're ever confused. This is a very organized way to do it, because this will condense the entire trip down to a few lines, and it saves you from having to click through a GPS, flip through multiple pages, or writing it out in a very lengthy way. So I have the state, the highway slash direction, the distance that I go on that segment, anywhere in exchange. I'm going to show you how it works. I left the terminal in Gary, Indiana. I didn't write down, once you leave the yard, you make a right onto what is that? What road is that? No, it's not Clyde Avenue. Anyway, you make a right onto the road. You go down 0.75 miles. You make a left on the 912 south. Then you get on to the 80, depending on where you're going. For my case, yesterday, 80 west. No. I'm not going to write down all of that, because you go to that terminal so much, you end up memorizing it. So I just write down what I'm doing once I hit the interstates. Indiana, I'm going to get on I-80 west for 4.3 miles. In 4.3 miles, I'll come to the Indiana/Illinois state line. At that time, I enter Illinois. I'll ride on I-80 west for an additional 7.5 miles. In 7.5 miles, I will see the exit or start seeing signs for I-294. I will get off on I-294 north and take that for 25.2 miles. And in 25.2 miles, I should see the exit for 290 west, or signs for it. Alright? And at that point, I took 290 west for 19.7 miles, which took me into Interstate 90 west. At that point, I was on Interstate 90 west for 53.1 miles until I hit the Illinois/Wisconsin line. That's how you read that. Alright? So, that being said, the next part of it is not just writing down what you're doing, you need to also look it up in the map. Alright? So what you do is bookmark whatever states you're going to go through. Typically, I will highlight the route. However, I didn't highlight it. So basically, I started here in Gary, Indiana, got on I-80, and I will follow the routing that it gives me. So I'll follow the routing on the actual map while looking at the company route and comparing it to see what roads I can and can't go on. As you can see, I'm in the Indiana map, page of the map. Now, as you saw, 4.3 miles till I hit the Indiana-Illinois state line. There you go, Illinois right there. So, bookmarked Indiana. Now, have Illinois bookmarked right here on the page, which is literally 2 pages back. Alright, outside of, you enter into Illinois up here. Continue following the routing that the company gave you, following it by following the interstates. At that point, I stayed inside of Illinois for a little while. After that, I went over into Wisconsin. Now, you flip the pages on the map to go over to Wisconsin. Wisconsin was the greatest leg of this trip because, as you can see, you started up here and basically have to start from Wisconsin and end up all the way over here in Minnesota. So that's the greatest leg of the trip. You gotta drive the entire state for the most part. So once I did that, continue following the routing that the company gave and the directions, not the co-pilot, but the actual directions. Follow the directions, track it all the way to where your destination is in that state. Now that you've gone through the map and confirmed that you are legally able to drive on those roads, you need to discuss, like I said before, you need to have vehicle checks and take your breaks. Now, like I said, every 150 miles or so, every 150 miles or every 3 hours, you need to have a vehicle check and stop. That's when I also like to take a 15-minute break, depending on how I'm feeling. For the sake of this video, that's what we're going to talk about. Take a 15-minute break every 150 miles or every 3 hours, whichever one happens first. Alright? I went ahead and did every 150 miles. What you need to do is you start adding up these distances. Alright? Once you hit your 150 miles, you'll look at where you're located on the map and write it down for stop number 1. Technically, if you want to stop at the exact 150 mile mark, you stop on 90 West, mile marker 143, inside Wisconsin for a vehicle check. Now, you can't stop at mile marker 143 because there's nothing there. It's the side of the road. So you need to stop at the closest waypoint, whether it be a few miles after it or a few miles before it. 150 is the goal that you're striving for. However, sometimes, reasonably speaking, at 150 you're not always going to be able to stop somewhere. So you need to be able to stop a little bit before it or a little bit after it. Alright? Technically, exit 147, there's a Pilot gas station there, Road Ranger Pilot. That's where I stopped. Took a 15-minute break, and I did a vehicle check. Alright? I continued trucking on down the road. Started doing the math, driving down. Now, like I said, the greatest part of this trip was in Wisconsin, so both my vehicle checks were in Wisconsin. Alright? Stop number 2. Once you have stop number 2, you're officially 300 miles or 6 hours into your trip, roundabout. Probably a little bit more depending on where you have to stop. So that's a very good time to take your 30-minute break, because once that 30-minute resets, you have 5 more hours of drive time, and it will show up on your computer screen that way. Now, I stopped on I-94 West, I should have stopped at I-94 West, mile marker 27 in Wisconsin for a 30-minute break. However, there's nothing at mile marker 27. However, there was a quick trip at exit 28. Alright? Mile marker 27 and 28. Like I explained in the map video, you will typically see that the mile markers and the exits typically coincide. Mile marker 28, I drove literally 151 miles to get to exit 28, quick trip. Stopped there, took my 30-minute break, grabbed something to eat, chilled. Stop number 3 was way significantly less than 150 miles away. So after that, I just stopped. At stop number 3 was my actual destination. Now, another resource, another tool, which is something else I recommend that everybody should get. Alright? Everybody should get one of these. It's just my opinion now. Pocket-sized truck stop guide. Find your next stop in seconds. Let's say you're driving down the road and you have to go to the bathroom. Like, shit hits you hard. I recommend, if you know your stomach gets messed up, get some of these pills. Literally, they have a non-flattering name. They're called anti-diarrhea. Like, it's kind of embarrassing going to the register and ringing it up because it doesn't give like some kind of scientific name. It literally just says anti-diarrhea on the box. So when they're ringing it up, they know you're having a quote-unquote shitty day. I cracked myself up. Anyway, get you one of these pocket-sized truck stop books because it's faster and more reliable than a GPS. A lot of people you hear, especially younger guys, they swear up and down by Trucker Path, which is a good tool to use. However, you cannot use electronic devices while driving. You will catch a citation. So, if you're driving, you can't use your phone to look at Trucker Path. What you need to do is buy one of these. It's like literally like, I think it's like $4 or $5. Whatever state you're in, it lists, you go through, it's in alphabetical order. You go through that state, and let's say I was on I-80 in Indiana. Alright? And I wanted to stop at say, I just crossed into Indiana from Illinois, and I got an incredible urge to take a massive, deuce. You whip out this book real quick from your overhead compartment, look at it. Oh dang, 6 miles down the road in Gary, I have options. I have the Pilot, the TA, the Mr. Fuel, the Loves, and the Petro. Alright, you choose whichever one you want to go to, and what's going to happen is those letters right there on the sides, the LW, the LWR, the S, all that lets you know the size of the truck stop. Alright? S means small, M means medium, L means large, obviously. W means it has a weigh scale there, some kind of scale for you to weigh the truck out to make sure you're legal. The lowercase r means it does minor repairs on the truck. If it has an uppercase R, that means it does major repairs on the truck. If it says REST, that means it's a rest area. Like up there, see how it says rest area? You can't mess it up. That's the only time you're going to see rest. But you choose one of those to stop at, and you stop there. This is also effective in your trip planning because, like I said, you're supposed to stop at mile marker 143 in Wisconsin for a vehicle check on what was that, on I-90. So you go to Wisconsin in the book. This is all part of your trip planning. You should do all this ahead of time. But sometimes things happen where you can try to do it ahead of time, but sometimes things pop up and you're gonna have to make an impromptu decision while on the road. And my pages stuck together because this book is getting kind of old because I use it quite often. Alright, there we go. I-97. Oh, excuse me, I-90. As you can see, I was supposed to stop at the 143. There's nothing there for me to stop at the 143. See? Nothing there. There's nothing there. However, the Cottage Grove Road Ranger Pilot Travel Center, it's a small one, but exit 147, which means I go a few miles up the road, get off at Pilot the 147, and there you go. The Cottage Grove Road Ranger Pilot Travel Center. So that's how you do effective trip planning. You map out where your stops are, you choose the best area for you to stop, and you go from there. So yeah, this is take 2 of the video. Like I said, the original video did not upload for whatever reason, so I'm remaking it right now before I go and head over to the Marshfield terminal. I'm on my way there now. Well, I'm not technically on my way there. Once I stop recording and start letting it upload, then I can start driving, because I'm not going to drive and record holding the phone. But yes, head over to Marshfield right now, do some stuff in Marshfield, and then after that, head on to my final destination. But that right there, this video is a culmination of everything I've talked about in successful and proper trip planning. Once again, I'm also going to hit on the other point that I mentioned about the weight. Please, please, please make sure you are weighing the way you're supposed to weigh. Don't trust other people to do their job right. Yes, sometimes they will do it right, but I want you to look at it this way. You can trust that they did the job right, or you can't trust. Either way, how much does your career and your license mean to you? Does it mean enough to where, does it mean so little to where you don't care enough to check behind somebody else to make sure you're not driving a dangerous load, especially if you're a flatbedder, properly? So what happens? You're just going to trust that the last guy tarped the load properly and is going to ride down the road like that? Or are you going to look to see for yourself? And then are you going to weigh it to make sure you're within legal limits? So are you going to do that and care enough about your career to check behind others to make sure you're in the right? Or do you not care enough to where you're going to allow it to jeopardize everything that you've worked hard for? Food for thought. Like I also said, thank you for everybody that follows me and subscribes to the channel and likes and comments and sends me Facebook messages and emails and calls me on my cell phone. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are great. And anybody, you know, that's just here and they might not get in contact with me, but they like what I'm putting out and they're watching my videos, I appreciate you guys as well, and all the other future subscribers that will see my stuff in the future. Thank you for, you know, just showing the support. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Drop questions in the comments section. Drop questions in the email. Doesn't necessarily have to be about the video, but it can be about anything you want it to be about, and I'll get back to you. It doesn't even have to be trucking related. It can be literally anything, and I'll do my best. I'll not do my best. I will get back to you, and we'll sit and talk about it. The new email address is jevicboy2@yahoo.com. Send me an email on there, and if you want to chat on the phone, I'll send you my phone number, and we'll figure it out. Alright guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and got some big stuff coming up soon. I'll make another video in a little bit whenever I get to Marshfield, but yeah, you guys will be there for a part of that. You guys will be there for that transition, and you know, I want you guys to be able to celebrate with me. Alright, y'all have a wonderful day.